Hi, this is David again, and I just came across some more material from the Mormon church, and I never heard it. All the years I was in the church, I never heard these things. I have never seen an organization that can cover and put under the carpet so many things. That carpet is so large and lumpy, no one could walk on it. However, let me change if I can change, and then I'll share it with you. You can do with it what you want. Okay, here we go. I didn't know this. Salt Lake Tribune, July 30th, 2010. George P. Lee once enjoyed such widespread respect as the first and only American Indian LDS general authority that many Mormons believed he might someday become an apostle or even higher. But such talk ended in 1989 when Lee, who died this week at age 67, was excommunicated for heresy, whatever that is, and conduct unbecoming a member of the church. That can fall into any category. They can kick you out for any reason. Later, he admitted to attempted child sex abuse, and his wife divorced him. And I'm a Mormon. He's in the upper echelon of the church. I think he was in the first quorum of 70 in 1975 at age 32. So, I don't want to be, again, the only voice out there that tries to pretend that the church is perfect, but the people have weaknesses. That's what the Mormon people say. And I'll just make a comment on this. Let me close by saying that here's the general authority who is having sex with children, and your children, and my children. These sexually repressed people, this can bounce out at any time on any of our families. My kids don't go to that cult. I just won't let them over there because those are the things that are going on all the time, and the things that are basically never told to the general public or the members of the church. Now, let me make this comment about when Mormons find out that other Mormons have committed crimes, which felonies, the point of the mountain prison down in Bluffdale is probably 80% Mormon. When the Mormon church and its peoples find authorities and bishops and stake presidents and regular Sunday school teachers, there was a primary teacher, I don't know if you heard about this, it's been about a year and a half down in Pleasant Grove, and he was having sex with his primary children, and he got excommunicated. But the church people in the cult have been trained to say the church is perfect, the people are not. Churches are for sick people to get well. Well, in some ways, when I hear that, and maybe when you hear that, that kind of makes some sense. But then I start thinking about it, and I say to myself, let's apply that to real life principles, not just to the Mormon church. Let's say that you own a telephone company, and you're making telephones all day long, and 20% or 30% of them don't work. And so the salesman says to all of these people trying to use the defective phone, well, our company is perfect, but our telephones aren't. Well, the telephones are what you're producing in that company. Aren't the Mormons? Now, they're not a product, they're a human being, but aren't the Mormons the product being produced by their religion? I think so. I think so. And if they're lying, they're cheating, they're stealing, and the Mormons are making excuses for other Mormons that, well, the church is true and perfect, but the people who join it aren't. The church is not perfect. We all know that, who have left the church and who have been in the church. The Book of Mormon itself has changes in the thousands. And we've seen changes in the temple ceremony, the 5 points of fellowship, the blood atonement, the penalties of slitting your throat and pulling your guts out. We've seen and seen and seen hundreds, if not thousands, of changes in the perfect church. We had perfect prophets that were saying if you marry a black person, you should have your head cut off with your wife, and your children should all be killed. Brigham Young. Joseph Smith marrying 14-year-old girls. He invented the church. That wasn't perfect. That was stupidity. And, you know, he engaged in that stupidity. So when you hear the Mormons say, well, church is for sick people, that's like the phone company saying, well, you know, our phones will work someday. Bring them back, and we'll just keep working on them. And our company is perfect, but the phones that come out of it, sometimes they're defective. Well, if you want to believe that philosophy and that doctrine, be my guest. I don't. I think it's an excuse that the church is not perfect, and it does turn out many, many defective people. And frankly, I think it draws many defective people. I think if you're mentally ill, if you're poor, if you're some way disenfranchised in the real world, you're unemployed, you need friendship, you don't have social skills, you may not have a job. I think a lot of those people do polarize to the Mormon church. And the church hopefully tries to rehabilitate them and help them. However, my wife, who's a returned missionary and served in the Philippines as a missionary, told me that the Mormon church told her as a missionary and her companions to quit converting so many poor people. Go look for more rich people in the Philippines. We don't want all these dependent souls. So, is the church perfect? Not in a million years. Are the people perfect? Not even close. So this company church that manufactures human beings teaches them principles and morality. For God's sakes, you know, if the phone doesn't work, you go, the phone doesn't work. If someone's having sex as an adult with your 9-year-old girl, that's more than a phone not working. That is ridiculous. That is, I sometimes can't even have words for it. It is the most evil and the most sick and the most damaging behavior that adults can behave in. If the Mormon church can't stop immorality with children, it's like a phone that maybe it doesn't work, but when you touch it, it blows up and blows your face off. That's a little more serious than a phone not working, blowing your face off and ruining a small child, a boy or a girl's life, because usually a man, but sometimes a woman, wants to have a sexual experience with your small child is sick. And if the Mormon church can't control that with a general authority, that's enough for me. Now, maybe not for you, but that's enough for me to get my kids away from that. That, to me, appears to be a cult. And they cannot produce generally good people. They're producing child molesters, liars, cheaters, thieves. Again, let me read right off my list. This is what the Mormon church is producing. It's not just the church is perfect. Utah, second in mental illness in the United States. First in bankruptcy in the United States. Third in child abuse in the United States. First in prescription drug addiction. Third in obesity. One in the least amount of money spent for the education per child in the United States. And number one in credit card purchases of pay for view pornography in the United States. The organization is perfect. Well, you know what? I don't want to be part of that organization. In a million years, I don't want to be part of it. Because I see what it's producing with my own eyes and with my own ears, and my own brain is saying, you know what? That factory probably should be shut down. That factory right there is a danger to society, and I don't want my name on it, and I don't build $5 billion Jesus malls and let the children of the world suffer and die. And I've said 2 or 3 times on video, 6,000 children will die today and tonight from starvation on this planet while the Mormon Church continues to build a $5 billion mall. Is this a religious organization or is this a corporation for profit? And I don't think the Mormon Church is perfect, and certainly the people that are in it and are trying to sustain it cover it up with public relations and putting pictures, imamormon.org, imamormon.org on the internet, and trying to get Mitt Romney elected as president. This is a sick group of people. I'm glad I'm not there. I'm enjoying my life now. I feel safe and I feel good about what I do and who I am. And when I was in the Mormon Church, I was one of the ones on drugs. God, I was on drugs, anxiety drugs for stress, and I ended up with a quadruple bypass surgery from the stress that perfect organization put on me. Thanks.